Hello everyone. You know, we sat here and have been for as long as we can remember. Even if you have past life memories, most of them, you remember feeling the way you're feeling now, only on a subconscious level, right? It's always been there, the hell contagion, the dark hand, the dark generator, giving us this completely false, sinister, malevolent illusion that we're powerless. And that's just become so ingrained, okay? But here's the truth, guys. This is what I sense, what I see, what I feel, what I dream. And that is, ooh, that my cat wants to leave the room. I lose. Come on, come on, son. Come on, son. There you go. Yes. Okay. We are quantum beings, guys. We're quantum beings. We are magical beings. We don't exist in one place, you know. Not at all, not at all. We move through, we are dimensional shifters. You know, we move continually. This is the way we move. Right? Imagine this is a book, right? Look. Right, do you see that? All these pages are timelines or dimensions. I don't like the word timelines because I don't believe in time, obviously. Time is an illusion, it's not real. What we have is what they call change, and even that is somewhat of an illusion. But we move through the layers continually, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When we need to do some soul retrieval, which we've been doing pretty much 24/7 throughout last year and this year as well. That's why we've been feeling so horrendous and so fucking shit. It's because we've been literally getting ourselves back from the clutches of the dark hand, the hell contagion. When we do that, we have to go back to the past to literally extract ourselves, just like in that film, What Dreams May Come. It's a bit like that. And it's like going into hell, because the past, where all the darkness sat in your subconscious, you were deeply asleep, you were not aware, and you were completely controlled by the hell contagion, the dark generator, the trauma. You didn't realise what the fuck was going on. Well, you didn't, if you know what I mean. So to go back there to do soul retrieval work is very, very painful, right? We go forward as well, and we go backwards, and we shift continually. We have always done that. We always do that. We are multi-dimensional beings, quantum beings. We are so incredible. There is absolutely no way to put it into words at all. At all. And you see, that incredibleness has been hijacked. It's been hijacked by evil, by a consciousness parasite, which wants to remain in control. I talk about that quite a lot. But I don't want to expound on that anymore, because I think I've spoken about that enough, and you either understand that now or you don't. You see, for those who don't understand this and who are not aware of it, they will remain trapped in it. You know, and they will continue to have a certain type of experience, and that is fine, but I'm not here for those types of beings. It has merit, all of it. It doesn't matter which level you're at. It all has merit, but I am here for soul travelers. And for soul travelers, I think things are about to get far more interesting than they have been. Because the realization that we are quantum beings, that we're not stuck stationary, stagnant on one level, but that rather that we shift all the time, that we create all the time, that there is a part of us that exists here right now, and it's very painful and very difficult, but there are other parts of us that exist in much higher realms at the same time. We're not fragmented really, but we experience fragmentation like that. Our true self, for example, is a part of us that exists home, that is always home, has never left home, and knows all, it knows everything. This is why I see now clearly that I stopped doing conspiracy research quite a while back, because I began to understand that all the vital information I needed seemed to be downloaded into me anyhow, in my sleep, in my dreams, or just me just wandering around or sitting around doing something, being sitting on a train once, and just the downloads, the information, as in all will be revealed. And indeed, that is exactly what's been happening. All the information is simply downloaded into me. Only it isn't really downloaded into me. It seems that way, but of course my true self already knows everything. People that you see on the external, right, the mundane reality enforcement officers, whatever you want to call them, they are forever busy trying to control. They want control. But that type of think, which is very left brain, and it is incredibly moronically stupid, that type of think is there because but if you believe you're completely powerless, then you want control. If you believe that you are a powerful, infinitely powerful quantum being, then control is something to laugh at. You are all, you know all. You allow yourself to fall through the layers, all the way down, trickling into this ignorance, to have this type of experience. But now, whilst shifting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you are going higher and higher and higher home, which is your true self, your pure state of all being, all knowing. I am. Baskol. Right? And the only reason, so control, there is no need to control anything. We experience not having any control. We experience the here. Shit happens to you, you're abused, you're violated, you're brutalized, you're powerless, you're back against the wall. You learn to brutalize yourself, to violate yourself. You learn to mistreat yourself, to hate yourself, to see yourself, to believe the lie that you're powerless. When in fact, even in that state where you think yourself to be utterly powerless and worthless, you are even there. You always are an infinite, powerful quantum being, a creator being. But the hell contagion blinds you. It blinds you, it makes you deaf, you can't see, you experience that. Well, it had to be that way, because otherwise you could never have experienced that state of being. It's all very clear to me that having experienced powerlessness, having experienced this entire thing, the dark realm, the dark experience, the inversion, has greatly contributed to me in some way. I can feel it. I can't put it into words, but I can feel it, and I can understand why I chose to do it. You see, something comes to me so clearly, and again, I can't really put that into words. I think that is because, as yet, not not really 100% clear as to the mechanics of it. I don't suppose there are mechanics, because magic doesn't have mechanics. You know, air, for example, doesn't have mechanics. You know, it just flows, it just is. Is that everything we are everything. So you see, we've experienced the inversion, which is a complete lie. We're healing now exponentially, bringing home and clearing out and harmonizing and alchemizing and doing that soul retrieval work, or some people call it shadow work. This is a natural thing, an organic thing. This is not something that you think, oh, I'll do it today at 2:30. You do it all the time. It is part of, you know, the healing. It's part of the going home process. It is. And it's very painful, because of course you have to, every time you gain back some other fragment of yourself, you have to feel everything that part of you feels. You have to experience everything that part of you experiences. The resistance, you know, the resistance is always the same. It believes the lie that it is worthless and powerless and a piece of garbage, and that evil always wins, and so it resists going into the light of your true self, the true knowing, because it expects it to be a trap, you see, but it isn't. And eventually it always capitulates and comes into the light. Then you experience that. It is an actual physical sensation, a mental sensation, an energetic, electromagnetic, oh yeah, I can feel it. Every time that happens, your true self is more, you're more aware of it. You become more aware of it. It grows stronger within you. It doesn't really grow stronger within you, but it feels that way. You see? Less and less and less and less hell contagion, fake persona, trauma self, more and more and more and more and more true self, I am infinite, quantum, infinite power, infinite love, infinite creativity. I am omnipresent. That is what it means, you see. We are omnipresent, people. Omnipresent. The more we come home to that, the more we will start to see the magic unfold. Now, I know that's hard to believe presently. It is for me too. I'm right in the middle of it. There is me, still my trauma self. No, I'm not moving into the light because evil's all there is, and oh, evil's won, and I hate myself and blah, and all the grief and the terrible sorrow, terrible grief, which is part of that as well. These are all hook-ins, chains, that want to hold you down, keep you trapped in the darkness. Stay there, stay there, stay there, because that is where the hell contagion lives. It wants to remain in control, you see. The mind virus wants to remain in control. But it, you know, and it was a useful thing. The mind virus was a useful tool for us to be able to have this experience. It is the anchor, as it were, that kept us in the darker pages of the quantum. It kept us there, experiencing this. Now it's time to get out of it, but we don't go from complete darkness to complete light in an instant. Well, maybe some people do, some souls do, but I don't. I go through the layers gradually, 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 gradually. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth at the same time. You know, and something is very clear to me, that we are omnipresent, quantum, infinite beings of incredibleness. There are no words for what we are, because we have lived in this ridiculously stunted, stupid place. But it will become more and more apparent to us what we are, I believe, because, you see, when we continually choose to release, surrender, forgive, letting go, instead of, you know, I call it disentanglement. I did a video on that ages ago called Disentanglement Leads to Mojo Rising, because I was onto it then. I had an inkling of it then, but I understand it more now. Literally a disentanglement. I'm letting that go, I'm letting that go. This is a letting go, it's a shedding. You see, a shedding. There are darker layers that you just don't have to go back to anymore. You don't, I don't. Everything that we are is within us. We are creator beings. We do not need to exist in a state of I am in lack, please give me what I need. Please God, give me what I need. Please Great Mother, even give me what I need. Please give me what I need. That's not how it works. We are everything. I've experienced, there are people in my field, as it were, that are like that. They're very inverted and very needy. They think it's all about them. It's like, oh, I'm in such a need, and oh, you know, showing me very clearly nuances and aspects. For pieces of the jigsaw are all over the place at the moment, falling into place, showing me the way, saying, oh, you see, and very needy people, needy and feedy, instead of going within and realizing, aha, yeah. When we choose our true self, trust, faith in our true self, even though we don't as yet know it, have experienced it very much, but enough to know that it is real, that it is true, and that it does have our back, so that we can choose it, so that when we are going through another shift and we are dealing with an aspect of self coming from the past back into the present, going into the light, resisting, it's excruciating, because you're in it then. You feel it, you think like that part of you does, you feel like that part of you does, and it's very, very difficult work. But it always gets done because we have that will and we have that focus and that intention, and our true self is there facilitating this entire operation. Always did, always has. So yes, it shifts. And that work has been 24/7 for us now for quite some time, which is why our true self, we experience the presence of our true self now more than ever before. We're really beginning to understand, to really be able to get with our true intelligence and our true intuition, the truth, quantum, magic, call it magic, but you know, because that is our natural state of being. Of course it is. And everything we need, everything we want, everything we are is within us. We do not need to ask anything or anyone for anything whatsoever. So something is going to happen whereby we will start to be able to really tune in to this infinity that we are, and to start to bring forth that which we want, whatever that might be. That is what I feel. And that is why it feels so incredibly dirty and malevolent now. You see? Because we're nearly there. Because we are rising. That keeps coming to me, the rise, or rising, or wherever I go now, there will be an ad, or there will be a sentence somewhere saying the rise, or you are rising, or I don't know, rising dawn, or whatever. It's all there. I think it's going to remain quite dark and you know, like we're still wading through mud. It's going to remain that way for a bit. Mercury's going to go retrograde, so this is going to be like finishing touches, you know, finishing touches. But where we're heading is an experience of incredibleness of, wow, I am an infinite being. I exist everywhere. I am omnipresent. I am quantum. And I can bring forth whatever I want. The inversion is an illusion that I believed. It's a total lie and a worse trauma, because if you're an infinite being and then you forget all of that and then experience total limitation and powerlessness, which leads to, you know, an abuse by evil creatures and demons that always seem to win, you're going to end up hating yourself. So we've been there. And that type of energy feels very heavy, and it's very addictive as well. Because that is what self-hate is, you see. I don't know why that is, but it is. It feels like that. It's like, no, I'm not letting go, and I'm not going into the light, and I'm going to sit here, I'm going to hate myself. Nothing ever works out. It's very perverse. It's perverse and it's addictive. Because it's an energetic hook in, like a etheric implant, but there are many of those things that I've seen, you know, on the etheric field. But it's all dissolving and being disentangled, and there's just nothing evil can do. It's done, finished. And it may not feel that way, guys, but believe me, it is the truth. It's happening. Everything that we want, everything that we want to create, everything that we want to experience, everything that we want to transform, whatever it is that we want, and soul travelers always want that which is infinitely pure and infinitely good and infinitely beautiful, you know, because we are children of the Great Mother, you see, so that is a fact. And our power is also infinitely pure and true and beautiful, so we do not need to fear it. That's another trick of the dark side. Oh, power is a bad thing. You're going to misuse it. You're going to become some sort of psychotic dictator, you see, because it projects, you know, that's what evil always does. It thinks everything and everyone else is evil, you know, it's the pot calling the kettle black. I'm sure you've heard of that expression. Well, that's what evil does, you know, so we're not evil, we're pure, beautiful, innocent, infinitely powerful, omnipresent children of the Great Mother. We are incredibleness. So everything, imagine what happens when you start to exist there, live there, stay with that more and more, and start to commune with that more and more, becoming it, knowing that, oh, of course, that is what I am, I get it now, wow, how could I have forgotten, wow, right? That is when you become one with it again. You see, the reason that we've experienced the inversion, limitation, lack, disease, death, decay, abuse, the most horrific, nasty shit, we don't need to go through that. The reason that we've experienced that is because we believe that we were cut off, rejected, cut off. But the truth is that we are infinite and that we are all connected in communion at all times, you know. See, the evil ones, and they're not really real, you know, but as an experience which we have temporarily projected, evil exists as a form of being that thinks itself to have been utterly rejected and utterly abandoned by the Great Mother, by the Force, as it were. And the reason that they do everything they do is because of something called the religion of sin. And I could expound on that a lot, but I don't want to, because I don't want to waste my time on dark stuff. You can research it for yourself. There was a guy called Rasputin, he was heavily involved in this, but this is what they do. It's called the religion of sin. I liken it to, you know, when there's this couple and they have this child, and this child is very naughty and it's very acting out, and it's shoplifting and it's torturing the cat, whatever. And they take the child to the child psychologist, and the child psychologist says, well, what is happening in your home life? And it turns out that mummy and daddy are working all hours, God sends, and aren't giving the child any attention, aren't really giving the child what she needs. So she's acting out, behaving badly in an attempt to get mummy's attention and mummy's love. In a nutshell, that is what the religion of sin is all about, and that is why evil does what it does, why these creatures do what they do. And of course this is very big. So a lot of people think that in terms of, the cabal, and it's human, and it's, no. Omniverse, people, multiverse, omniverse. Evil exists on many, many, many levels, in many, many, many layers. And this is a very big, big, big thing. But it's coming to a conclusion. I can feel this, you see. And it all hinges on our choice to say, you know what, I got nothing to lose. I can continue to sit in the poison, do that, or I can walk out of that and go into the light. And every time we retrieve another part of our being, our soul being, we go through that, and we have to make that choice again. And it can be very, very difficult because it is addicted to the pain and the self-hate. So it's always a bit of a tug of war, but it always resolves itself, and we enter the light. And every time that happens, we become more stronger. Our true self is more experienced, and our true intelligence asserts itself more, which is quantum intelligence, not left brain. I must be in control because otherwise it's no good. That is just we are, we're quantum beings, quantum intelligence. It is something that we can intuitively process much better. But it's, you see, in the trauma self, it's very left-brained, and it wants to understand exactly what is going on with very, very limited IQ resources, so it cannot be done. Whereas here, it's like, hey, let it go. I'm your true self. I know everything. All shall be revealed. But it's not going to happen if you keep pushing, trying to understand something that with your current limitation, because of all the trauma, which makes people very stupid as well, by the way, you cannot possibly understand. Your true IQ, which is quantum, knows all. Hence, all shall be revealed. And this is the truth. And that will happen more and more and more. Now, for those of you who have walked the true path, you know that this is true, because every time you heal another layer or another soul fragment, call it whatever you like, you know that your consciousness expands, and that there is more of a quantum ability in the way you understand this experience. So you know that already anyway. And that is what will continue to happen. But this year, it will really take off. It is all about faith and perseverance, right? The lies that exist here, the dark generator, you're never going to get anywhere. You may as well just sit in the shit and stay there, which is utterly ridiculous and stupid, because, well, how is that going to help? So I say, no, fuck that. I will take a leap of faith. Every time I go through another retrieval, I choose. I say, okay, I will. It's very hard, but it tug of war, and then yes, I come back home to myself again. I say, I'm gonna trust, I'm gonna let go, I'm gonna release, I'm gonna forgive. I don't want to stay entangled in this world. Every time I see a mask wearer, or I was in the shop the other day and some old woman started having a go at me for not wearing a mask. And I was having a bad day, so I gave her a lashing of my tongue. It had to be done. But then I thought, oh, okay, Annika, you're very heavily, entangled here. You know that because you feel all that hatred and all that rage, and you feel violent inclinations. You see? So you know you're entangled. So you have to work through that. Release and let go and forgive. Not as in, oh, that poor thing, not at all. I don't care. She's an NPC, that's nothing. Forgiveness means letting it go for your own sake, saying, okay, I'm letting this go. Right. Moving on. Do you know what I mean? It's not allowing yourself to be trapped. It's not allowing these hook-ins anymore. Because the only reason you feel that way is because there is still your trauma self. There are still parts of you there in the darkness that believe evil always wins. And so when you have these type of experiences, and there can be so many of those type of experiences, they just reiterate to you, see, evil always wins, evil always wins. That's why you feel the way you do. And so they're keys in a sense, because they actually kind of show you or bring back home to you another part of your soul, your being. You know, that's really what that is, because evil doesn't always win at all. Evil is in and of itself just a temporary glitch. That's really all it is, but it doesn't feel that way. I know that. I know the resistance. I know what the hell contagion feels like, believe me. So anyway, going home is something that happens within. It's very profound, and it's a choice that we make. Everything that we want, everything that we think, you know, everything that we want, and whatever that might be, start thinking about what do you want? What do you want to bring forward? What do you want to create? What do you want to see all around you? How do you want to feel? What do you want to look like? What do you want to do? What type of creativity do you really want to engage with? How magical do you really want it to get? All of that lies within us, you see. It doesn't happen to us. We have everything within us, and we bring it forth from within ourselves, and that is the 0 point. It goes all the way back and it goes all the way forth, and it's a reset. I call it the 0 point or omega point, something, where things begin to shift, the light reset, because that is what we do. But because of the, you know, we've always been doing that. We've always shifted throughout all the layers. We've always been quantum beings that never stopped. But our experience was completely distorted because of the fall, where we became infected, our consciousness became infected with the hell contagion, so that all of a sudden we experienced the opposite. But, you know, it was just using our quantum abilities against us all the time, you see. We never stopped having them, it just got usurped. So, yeah, anyway guys, I think that's it for today. Just wanted to do this little video, because I wanted to see if I could verbalize, you know, this type of information, and I'm not sure I've done a very good job of it, because actually everything I've just spoken about, it's bigger than that, it's more incredible than that. Language is of this realm and it's of the left brain, so it could never actually do it justice at all. It couldn't at all. It's like I've lifted up the cloak a tiny bit, and we can see that tiny bit of light. Then if you took the cloak and ripped it off, you would be, oh wow. Anyway guys, I think I'll call it a day there today, and I hope you all have a sense of that magic, you know, within you, to know that we are infinite unconditional love and infinite creativity. We exist everywhere, we are everything, and everything is possible. So when you're able, when you can, start to imagine, play around with that. I'll be doing that, as well as the usual working through all the dark shit and feeling like absolute crap. Meow meow.